If you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one. If you dare nothing, then when the day is over, nothing is all you will have gained. Success in warfare is gained by carefully accommodating ourselves to the enemy's purpose. It is error alone which needs the support of government. Truth can stand by itself. Everything you do doesn't have to be seen or heard. It is man's natural sickness to believe that he possesses the truth. An education is not so much about making a living as making a person. Keep a little fire burning, however small, however hidden. Do not swallow bait offered by the enemy. Do not interfere with an army that is returning home. Nothing is permanent in this wicked world, not even our troubles. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. I'm glad I see with my eyes and not the pages I've read. Life would be unbearably dull if we had answers to all our questions. It's often only in the lies we refuse to speak that any truth can be heard at all. Aslan, you doubt your value. Don't run from who you are. Overconfidence blurs out the risk. Inferiority magnifies it. I think there is only one quality worse than hardness of heart, then that is softness of head. Life is a comedy to those who think, a tragedy to those who feel. If you can feel the future, then you are about to experience it. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. If you really want something, you can figure out how to make it happen. We are products of our past, but we don't have to be prisoners of it. There's nothing in the world that breeds success like success. The enlightened ruler is heedful, and the good general full of caution. Wit seduces by signaling intelligence without nerdiness. When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. Understanding that rests in what it does not understand is the finest. Go slowly, so that you do not bite your tail by accident. If water derives lucidity from stillness, how much more the faculties of the mind? I was never aware of any other option but to question everything. For every expert, there is an equal and opposite expert. Having nothing to struggle against, they have nothing to struggle for. Where you are in a few months depends on what you do today. Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. The bad news is time flies. The good news is you're the pilot. Fear can only grow in darkness. Once you face fear with light, you win. The more you face challenges, the less you fear them. I only want to write, and there's no college for that, except life. I encounter one example after another of how relative truth is. Beware of the small things. A small leak can sink a great ship. Tomorrow hopes we have learned something from yesterday. He was a lonely ghost, uttering a truth that nobody would ever hear. Politeness is the first thing people lose once they get the power. Just be real. It saves everyone's time. Treat your men as you would your own beloved sons, and they will follow you into the deepest valley. Our ability to adapt is amazing. Our ability to change isn't quite as spectacular. The longer we dwell on our misfortunes, the greater is their power to harm us. Most often, you don't own your own mind. You borrow it from society. Don't look to the approval of others for your mental stability. A kind gesture can reach a wound that only compassion can heal. If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. There is little success where there is little laughter. Knowledge is responsibility, which is why people resist knowledge. To become a lifelong reader, one has to do a lot of varied and interesting reading. Know thyself, know thy enemy, 1,000 battles, 1,000 victories. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. Better the comfort of a lie than the absurdity of the truth. To a mind that is still the whole universe surrenders. Knowledge of the enemy's dispositions can only be obtained from other men. People say nothing is impossible, but I do nothing every day. That is all very senseless, but this senselessness has a pretty mouth, and it smiles. A whetstone, though it cannot cut, may sharpen a knife that will. You know, the minute you stop thinking about it, it'll happen. I'm not afraid of death. I just don't want to be there when it happens. Maturity is when you stop complaining and making excuses and start making changes. A smiling lie is a whirlwind, easy to enter, but hard to escape. If thinking should precede acting, then acting must succeed thinking. Do not look for healing at the feet of those who broke you. Life is a mystery to be lived, not a problem to be solved. Fear is nothing more than a negative assessment of risk. Success, for most people, requires unlearning as much as learning. She will always wear her crown, regardless of the hate. You not only are hunted by others, you unknowingly hunt yourself. The world is already full of critics. To stand out, be an encourager. It is better to be divided by truth than united in error. The greatest step towards a life of simplicity is to learn to let go. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Having the life of your dreams is simple. Make conscious choices. Start writing, no matter what. The water does not flow until the faucet is turned on. There's more to life than simply increasing its speed. If you appreciate the small things, you're likely to get the big ones. For a word to be spoken, there must be silence, before and after. In the end, it will all work out okay. The end isn't final if we're not okay with it. You can measure the size of a person by what makes him or her angry. Weakness of attitude becomes weakness of character. When deeds and words are in accord, the whole world is transformed. But man's duty is to try and endeavor. Success depends upon chance and environments. Fear defeats more people than any other one thing in the world. Remember that you are only alive now. This is the only moment you have. Embrace it. Science is organized knowledge. Wisdom is organized life. Distance sometimes lets you know who is worth keeping and who is worth letting go. You can jail a revolutionary, but you can't jail the revolution. Ultimate excellence lies not in winning every battle, but in defeating the enemy without ever fighting. Karma is given, not to those who ask, but to those who ask of nothing. Success awaits those who steadfastly commit to any requisite sacrifice. Never tell the truth to people who are not worthy of it. Remember, man does not live on bread alone. Sometimes he needs a little buttering up. Don't let anyone ever make you feel like you don't deserve what you want. Stay close to anything that makes you glad you are alive. All the fish needs is to get lost in the water. All man needs is to get lost in Tao.